last time, there's still definitely timings that they need to be aware of. Okay, the Abaddon actually is going to get picked up for their offlane here on the side of Gorillaz-Pride. So ASDFK, very, very unique name on that boy. And Kukahook's going to be playing the Alchemist. Mr. Jean's obviously in the mid lane with that Leshrac. All right. What do we think, taking a look at these drafts? Do you think that FURIA can play fast enough to put a damper on Kukahook on that Alchemist? Or do you think that they're going to let it go too late?
I really like Gorillaz-Pride drafts here. Like, I'd say that Lina Lesh is a very classic mid lane matchup. The Lina has a bit of an advantage just through her reach, but as long as the Lesh can hit his stuns, he deals a ton of damage to her right back. So if Mr. Jeans plays this well, they've actually got a mid-game tempo hero on that Leshrac that can group up with the Abaddon, deal a ton of damage, and be very hard to bring down because of all those Abaddon buffs.
Mm-hmm.
And Furia is like, that Lifestealer needs to have a nice lane, but he's going to be up against an Abaddon, which is not really a favorite at all. As you said before, their supports are kind of defensive. The Tiny is not going to do a whole lot in stopping the Alchemist from farming. I think a lot, honestly, comes down to Hiko on this Rubik, because as soon as he has his level 6 up, he can really turn fights around with the correct steals. He can set up 4 Murdoch on that Lina and actually give them that active support, but he's going to have to get the good steals first and then utilize them in the right way, which is not the easiest thing. So
would you say that then, I'm sorry for cutting you off there, would you say that Gorillaz-Pride then just has the easier to execute draft, pretty much?
Yes, I'd say so. I can see a very natural flow of this draft coming in.
All right. Well, someone once told me that the simpler the Dota, the easier the win is. So that definitely puts a bit of a tick in favor of. I think it was. I want to say it was Brax. I think Brax is the one who said that. He's like, if it's simple, if it makes sense, then you're gonna have an easier time getting that victory. If it's got a lot of intricate working pieces, it's gonna be way harder.
Because that's definitely also one of my mottos.
Oh, I think it's a motto of a lot of people, honestly, in the Dota scene. Simple is good.
And it's a little bit hard because players, as individuals, can really pride themselves on their skill on certain complicated heroes. And it's true that that can make a difference, but it's about the puzzle. If you can fit and Invoker and Ember Spirit and Meeple, I'm just making something up here, right? Mm-hmm. Into the same easy-to-execute lineup somehow, then it would be totally cool to have all of those really flashy, showy heroes. Unfortunately, though, they don't really fit together at all as puzzle pieces, so it's not a good idea. And I think a lot of players get distracted by the fact that something might feel like a waste of their talent, like, I don't want to play Viper. Viper's boring. And therefore make things needlessly difficult on themselves, when what they really need to realize is that the difficulty should be on the enemy team. Like, they are the ones going to make the game hard. You yourself should make it as easy as possible, because there's going to be adversity aplenty. And how you position on that Viper might be the most important thing you're doing this month.
That's a really good way to look at it. It's not so much, right? It's one of those things too, as gamers, sometimes we get a little bit too self-centered. We think about ourselves, we're like, oh, we're bored. But Dota is one of those really unique games too, where you really can get inside your enemy's mind. You can see it with even just simple things like, the tipping system, right? Somebody makes a play that, is a little bit questionable. You end up winning the fight and you tip them. And that can actually start tilting your enemy. It's very important. So if you can kind of, make it simpler on yourself and make your enemies have to think, oh gosh, how do we play around this hero? Because it's so annoying, even if it's just standing there. It's definitely worth picking that boring hero that you don't want to play. Also important to note, I was just thinking about this, with this Alchemist pickup on the side of G-Pride, bounty rooms are so important now. Like, they've always been important, but now you have to think about your positioning, right? Because they're split up in a way that makes it difficult to kind of secure every single one, unless you're totally spread out throughout the map.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Furia is going to get, G-Pride is going to get extra lucky and score themselves a shovel as well.
Oh, that's right, the shovel. That's
Is
for
this
people who
a
are just joined, because I keep this is one of the things, right, that's kind of tough, is you've got a lot of different people watching broadcasts now, and some people haven't been playing, some people have been watching that much. So we do have to explain the neutral items a little bit as they show up, even though I'm sure some of us are like, oh, we already know about this, we don't want to hear it. But the trusty shovel is a really neat neutral item. It's a tier 1 drop, and you can dig up quite a few things. You can get, what is it, a healing salve, teleport scrolls, a kobold, which can also drop more neutral items, or a bounty rune. So that's why we're saying it would be so nice for this alchemist if he found one, or anyone on his team, honestly, because it's going to just accelerate his gold even further, and also give him a bottle charge.
let's see if he ends up going for that build anyway, because this is a safe lane out. And looking at all of the heroes that are moving down to the bot lane right now, I think that Furia might just want to aggro try him.
I think that would be a really good idea. I agree with that. Just make it as difficult as possible for him to start getting ahead. But this is nice. They're kind of hiding it. They don't want to show their lane, which is going to make Furia have to really play it cautiously, I guess. Whereas in the top lane, you can see RDO. He's hiding in the corner. Nobody really wants to show it off. In fact, I don't think Adomi...
30 seconds to battle.
Oh, he does find him eventually. Just a lucky turn there. They,
this is a problem.
This is very bad. He has no one to help him.
Cut his way out of it. He's gonna go down.
Yep, this is gonna be our first blood.
Are they going to give it? Yes.
Mr. Jeans. That's a feels bad starting off. Your game number 2 here with a death that you just can't get away from.
The battle begins.
Didn't even have a chance there.
And now it becomes much more questionable to try and go for that aggro play at all. That Lifestealer is definitely going to need some help on his lane. And yeah, Winter Wyvern making her way over. So the Alchemist is most likely going to get joined by the Crystal Maiden, which is also a very traditional lane pairing.
Do you think that had they not gotten the first blood on RDO here in the top lane, that they still would have tried to go for an aggro?
It's very hard. That still means you're putting a Lifestealer up against an Abaddon, which is not a great matchup for you at all. But maybe you still want to trade that against the Alchemist having a good lane. I'm not sure. In my opinion, the ideal scenario would have been to get a kill on that bot lane and then transition to 2v2. And unfortunately, it happens exactly the other way around.
Well, fortunately, if you're a Gorillaz-Pride fan.
This is true.
I think we should see some difficulty, though, right, because of the cleave coming off of NSR as the Tiny. My concern is just once that Alchemist transitions after he gets, his level 6, he starts jungling, are they going to be able to keep the pressure up?
Yeah, this is why I was talking about having a Tiny mid, but Alina mid can do this as well. A lot of this is going to come down to Murdoch and the way he rotates. So this Lina is going to have the ability to actually take away towers from the enemy. She can gank into attacking very fast with that Fiery Soul of hers, so she's very good at taking towers after kills. And that could transition into taking away a lot of the space that G-Pride has right now. But if Mr. Jeans has a good time, and right now he started off his lane way better with getting that first blood, he is going to be able to match that tempo and either fight the Lina or take terrain of his own.
I feel like the Leshrek is a bigger threat, though. Like, you talked about Murdoch playing this as taking towers and whatnot, but I feel like the Leshrek can just place even more difficulty on the map and make the space for that Alchemist.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a better tower taker.
He also just outputs a lot of damage too, so... I mean, Murdoch's been having a killer time in most of his games that we've seen him recently. I was actually very impressed with it, because like a year ago, he was a good mid laner. He wasn't something that I was, really writing home about, but he's definitely proven himself in this qualifier that he's improved quite a bit.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with him as well. He's been playing the same kinds of heroes though, so this Lina is a bit of a different beast, and I'd really like to see if he is in trouble.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
son.
a dead Murdoch. Very nice gank coming out from Yodomi.
1,000 of your kind have fallen before me.
Extremely early as well.
Well, I definitely wasn't expecting that just yet.
Yeah, and something that I want to note here is that helping out your mid with the rune control as a 4 has become even more of a risk, because from both sides the road towards the power rune is now longer.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. Top lane, though, we just saw a kill in the bottom lane. Are they going to be able to turn this around? RDO doesn't look like he wants to keep fighting this Abat. He's pretty tanky. They do manage to turn it around, though. Doesn't have enough mana for that shield. Nice save coming out from the Sand King, but unfortunately not quite enough, as now the open wounds are getting used. RDO just slowly chipping away at Yodomi here. Duster waiting patiently, trying to get into range to throw out maybe 1 or 2 hits, and that's a double kill now for RDO. So this lane is feeling a lot more comfortable for FURIA at this point.
Yeah, and this Abaddon has not been able to do as well as I thought he maybe could, which is probably down to the
Radiant's
influence
middle
of
tower
that
is under attack.
Winter Wyvern helping out with pushing the lane back.
It definitely felt like FURIA just was saying, okay, it's go time, let's get some of these kills on the board. Because again, we saw BL get taken down the bottom lane, they ended up getting the double kill top. I like the aggression. Again, all eyes are on this mid lane between Mr. Jeans and Murdoch. It's going to be very important to see which one comes
Well,
online
you might
faster.
want to look bot instead, could you? It's getting real low. But
He looks
so
alright.
is Sark, actually.
Hiko actually needs to be the one who needs to be very, very careful. Does have a salve, though. He's a little bit fast in Crystal Main. She's not going to be able to go and cancel it.
Yeah, and the cooldown on her Crystal Nova was a little bit too long. Otherwise, she could just pop one of those mangoes and secure the kill, which is, she's going in for it right now, but the Alchemist more interested in the bounty runes, and who could blame him after all?
They only managed to get themselves 2, though. I wonder how. I guess you have to be very, very lucky and hope that your enemy team forgets about them in order to get at least 3, probably, right? Or someone's dead on the map. Speaking of dead on the map, BL is dead, very dead. Was alive a second ago. A little bit of chasing going on here in the top lane. RDO's just able to dish it right back again. And like you said, Kips, you were pretty surprised. You thought the Abaddon would be doing better than he is now, but it seems like RDO and Duster, they know how to play this lane.
Yeah, and maybe I have also not seen the changes on this new Lifesteal Feast enough. You can see that RDO is just maxing it, and he gets 45 attack speed out of this level 3 Feast, which is just passive. It is insane how often he can slap right now. Look at the attack speed on a catapult.
There it goes. It's kind of nice to see RDO back on Lifestealer. There was a patch where all we saw was Lifestealer. RDO played a lot of it because it was meta, but he is very good with this particular hero as well, so.
Look at Yodomi messing around with Murdoch.
There's not much that Murdoch can really do. He wants to be able to... Oh, he does have the regen rune, though, too. That's a pretty nice pick. He needs to be careful, though.
He was trying to supplement his farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very risky move.
Oh, he misses the stun! It's going to get slowed down, but they don't have anything else to go and slow down the Lina. She's got the boots online.
Radiant are scanning.
It's that little creep over there on the side. Very nicely done by Murdoch. Little sloppy coming out from Yodomi. He was very close to being able to land that. And it definitely felt a little suspect that Lina was playing up so close to the front. RDO's chasing after ASDFK. He's going to use the Rage one more hit. Can he get there in time? They get the kill onto Yodomi. And again, now RDO just running around in circles, still chasing after this Abaddon. Has Duster along with him. One more hit. Can they pop that shield? Indeed they can.
When your attack speed is that high, there's just no trading with you as a melee hero like Abaddon. I think that's the biggest difference, that he just gets 2 hits off for everyone that you do. What are you going to do about that?
Radiant's top tower.
And of course he gets a broom handle.
He gets a broom handle, but guess what Alk just picked up too? This is pretty nice for him. He gets an Iron Talon.
Radiant's
Oh,
middle
no.
tower is under
So
attack.
both of these cores have some pretty nice neutral items. The jump forward again, though. Yadomi maybe being just a little bit too aggressive. Mr. Jeans finding a kill onto NSR with a gank. Duster having to TP himself out. And look at RDO. He just chases after Yadomi. Says, come back here. I wasn't done with you yet. He's got the phase boots. He got that broom handle like we talked about. Plus 35 attack range. Oh.
So even harder to kite this man now. And he is actually going in for the Hand of Midas, which is an item that I've seen a lot of people skip, but it makes a lot of sense to me in this game. He's had such a good laning stage that he can definitely afford it. As well as that... Oh, are we looking at the mid lane?
No, I was looking at, well, yes, kind of. Kind of, off to the side. But they were smoked up over on the side of FURIA, and they managed to place... This ward does so much now, right? Because not only does it give you the vision over of the rune spot, it keeps an eye on a couple of these camps. It's a big radius, and you want to keep tabs on this Alchemist. You don't want to let Kuka Hook start getting really big, because it's going to be difficult for you to catch up. Granted, again, the Lifestealer is going in for the Hand of Midas, so we'll be able to keep up decently, but it's just a better idea not to allow him that accelerated farm.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I was going to bring up, is that if this is an Alchemist, if you want to keep up, you gotta make some investments.
Crystal Maiden! Sister versus sister. Lena's gonna win that one, but it looks like they're gonna get a vengeance kill here as Mr. Jeans finds the kill on the Lena. Yadomi will get the final hit on that too. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, the Abaddon is pinging the mid tower because he
Radiant's
wants to
bottom tower is
move on
under
up to
attack.
grabbing that important point on the map, but I don't think they can actually get it. Winter Wyvern is so good at holding towers with that Splinter Blast. She's level 5 as well. That's a level 3 Splinter Blast. You can't really push into it.
Yeah, it's gonna clean up that creep wave very quickly. Mango tree is found by Hiko. Get a nice little ward out of the tree, and of course, you know, the bonus 3 mangoes right off the bat.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There's a lot of people down here in this bottom lane.
Yeah, I am keeping my eyes on this Leshrac because, as I said before, this is the tempo man on the side of G-Pride. He is going to make the space, and they have met up the Abaddon with him as well, who is level 6 as well. So this is just a strong 3 hero presence. And if they want to put pressure on this tower, they totally can. FURIA would have to respond, but they are not interested. They are actually grabbing this space to take the middle tower, and this is so much free damage.
You can see the TPs are coming out. Mr. Jeans doesn't want to allow this. He manages to go and grab the
There's
Pulse
a catapult coming
Nova.
up though, and he can't kill it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Should be
Dire
able to take this
structures
mid
are
tower.
fortified.
Yeah, especially with the Siege Wagon, and this is why you have to make your dominant moves faster, because otherwise all you're doing is showing. They know they can go for the mid tower and you get forced back.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Ideally, they instinctively already TP bot before they realize that we could have gone for that mid tower.
Radiant's bottom
And now
tower
NSR is all the
under
way on his own on bot with the catapult, gets to lay those 3 smackdowns into the tower. Look how fast it's falling.
The timing was just so perfect coming out from
Radiant's
FURIA,
bottom
realizing,
tower
you
is
know,
under
hey,
attack.
we can put some damage on this tower, maybe get it, and if not, you know, NSR's going to have that availability to put a lot of pressure on the bottom one. So very nice map awareness, good movements coming out from the side of FURIA. I'm impressed.
For sure, and with all of that, they actually managed to hold a lead over an Alchemist lineup. The Alchemist, of course, didn't have that great of a lane, but he's got an Iron Talon right now. He's farming away, he's top of the net worth. But the Lifestealer is not nearly as far behind him as you would have wanted you were G-Pride.
Well, he hasn't had much harassing him, to be quite honest. Like, they started off with a fairly decent amount of harass, but he started getting a couple kills with the help of those supports. He's got the Midas online now. He's going to be keeping toe-to-toe with this Alchemist. As long as he doesn't die a lot. If he dies a lot or if his courier gets hit, then he's going to be facing some other problems, but...
Well, this is RDO. I haven't really seen him play all that aggressive before. I doubt he's going to put himself in the way of danger all that much.
The Abaddon, going up and around the side, has himself a haste rune. What is he doing? He's just running around in circles like, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? Guys, come on. This haste rune is going to wear off. And now we have a totally split fight here. RDO is just going to be able to walk away. Hiko stolen the Sandstorm, tosses back on Yadomi. Yadomi finds the Burrow Strike. Throws out the Fade Bolt. He's looking for something else that he can steal here. Uses that. Oh, that's a pretty elixir sign here. Burrow Strike is stolen by Hiko. That is one of the favorite spells of Rubik's, as he's just leading them on a merry chase. It's a little bit of space right now for the Alchemist, so they're not able to quite get him.
Yeah, let's see if Hiko gets to leverage this Burrow Strike, though. It's also great because it lets him get up close to people for a lift, which is the telekinesis is a very short range. So we're gonna see a
Radiant's
short
top tower is
but
under attack.
furious assault on this top tower.
Radiant structures.
Yeah, all of the tier 1s were very, very low, or they were taken down. There's the initiation coming out. Over onto NS Art, RDO. He's just man-fighting through this, throws up the rage and says, alright, we got the tower, guys. Everybody go back to farming. I'll see you in another 5 minutes when the runes are up and around. Although that's actually in like 2 minutes, so my bad.
Well, in another 5 minutes, he'll probably have his armlet. And actually, he's not waiting for the armlet to go in. He's like, let's pop this ultimate on this Abaddon, boys. I attack fast. His team wasn't quite ready for it, though.
Not quite. Do have the Alchemist picking up the Radiance. So that is online now, especially thanks to the Iron Talon that he was able to find in the jungle. It's pretty crazy, right? You think about, because that's not a guaranteed drop, right?
It is not.
Yeah, there are several tier 1 items that can show up, and that just happened to be the one that Kukahook found. Fairly early on, too. Very, very lucky.
Yeah, it's probably the best pickup for him. But the same goes the other way around. The Lifestealer also got pretty much the best pickup for him, which is that broom handle.
They just smoked underneath the ward. I'm surprised that... Okay, beautiful Winter's Curse, actually. Gonna hold them in place just long enough. Final hit over onto Yadomi. Hiko will find it with the Fade Bolt. It's gonna be the toss coming out. RDO takes a look at this pony and says, come back here. He's so swift, but also RDO very, very fast. Gets a nice stun off, but the Fade Bolt again coming out from Hiko. That range is kind of ridiculous now. It looks like the Abaddon having to run away. The toss comes out again. Hiko getting the body blocks off. He's gonna try to slow him down. They've got the telekinetic lift, throwing him right back over to Duster, to NSR, to the Avalanche. And it's a triple kill for Hiko. Alright, well you said
Good
you wanted to
timing,
see Hiko doing some stuff with this Rubik. I would say he's doing stuff, Kips.
Oh yeah, he's making the moves. And more importantly, I really like that RDO is leveraging his presence as his fighting Lifestealer. He only has a Midas, but it's clear that he knows his hero very well, and he's
Radiant
just
are scanning.
making sure to be involved in these fights. It's actually the Lina who hasn't had that great of a start, who gets all of the time to farm. And she just picked up her Boots of Travel. So she's going to be a split pushing, or rather a joining kind of menace than the first line of attack.
Well, you almost wonder with the finding of the broom handle, and of course he does also have that Pupil's Gift. But RDO had a very nice start, honestly.
Link Dagger on the Tiny.
Yeah, we got a bomb. We got an Infest Bomb. They know Alchemist is going to be farming, although we see a TP come out here into the bottom lane. Mr. Jeans? Duster? Oh, it's the Laguna Blade coming out from Murdoch.
Oh my.
I think they could have communicated maybe slightly better on that, but of course they don't know where the Alchemist is, so maybe they thought that the Alchemist was nearby.
Yeah, and it would have been very expected actually for somebody to be behind him to cover him, but G-Pride was very split up.
Find themselves a Crystal Maiden instead. Why did she just a casual ultimate, I guess.
Yeah, it's a common way to clear really big creep waves. The ultimate is, especially if you don't expect a team fight, is not that long of a cooldown. So sometimes you'll see Crystal Maidens just let it go.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened there. I do worry a little bit just because they did do that Infest Bomb, and it wasn't that long, but every single second counts in Dota, right? So every time that RDO is sitting in Tiny, not hitting creeps, it's an opportunity for the Alchemist to start getting a bigger advantage, which I think is a little worrisome.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think he actually let his Midas go off CD for too long, but you gotta worry about that as well.
What you don't have to worry about is Yadomi pushing out the waves here in the top lane, because they just threw him up in the air and he was out of there.
Yeah, and this game is quickly becoming a a very scary one for G-Pride. They don't have any good ways to keep their waves out anymore, with the threat of the tiny blink plus an infest bomb, and then also the Lina teleporting around. All of their eggs are in the Alchemist basket, so Zalesh got off a good start, but he hasn't actually managed to push any tier 1s with that yet. And
Yeah, it's
I don't
actually
really see
interesting.
G-Pride grouping around him anymore.
That's a really good point. The fact that we haven't seen Leshek taking tier 1s. He's been trying, like you said, but the Tiny getting the blink during the timing that he did, it makes it impossible for him, really, because he's just going to get blown up every time. Oh, speaking of getting blown up.
Yep,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
that's what's going to happen.
Radiant
And
structures are fortified.
now once again, we have this situation where FURIA completely controls the top side of the map, and the aggressive vision that G-Pride still has, they can't really leverage that unless they want to team fight through this FURIA lineup.
Radiant's top
So
tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
they're getting choked out, even if it doesn't look like it because of the net worth. Most of that is in the Alchemist, and the other 4 can't really
Dire's
fight
bottom tower
the
is under
team
attack.
on the side of FURIA anymore at all.
This feels like we saw this in another team. I'm trying to remember. But basically, the TA, she looked great, right? She had like a really, really good laning phase. She was getting all the items she needed, but the rest of her team just fell so far behind that when it came time for these team fights, when the enemy team was trying to go high ground, there was just nothing she could do because she could get in there, she could hit him a couple times, but the rest of her team just melted, and all of a sudden it's a 1v5.
Yeah, and I believe that was Gorillaz-Pride as well.
Well,
She
it's
didn't
looking
go in
like
there
history
much.
might repeat itself a little bit here because the
Radiant's
Alchemist,
top
like you
tower
said,
is under
has
attack.
that net worth, but the rest of the team, they just melt.
Oh, and Yodomi underestimated the vision range of this outpost. He's just dead.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's, we just saw him die in the top lane, right? With that, they had to go and place the center, and they get another kill on Mr. Jeans. This is,
Hard enough for you?
I don't know, this is not feeling good for the side of G-Pride at all. It feels like FURIA is very firmly in the driver's seat, and they're just trying to play catch-up, but they're just, I don't say feeding.
Yeet!
Yeah, just yeets
Away
them into
with
the
you.
pit.
Money to burn.
We don't want no battens around here. So yeah, I'm very curiously watching the itemization of this Alchemist right now, and he went for a heart.
Heart, yeah, that was my question mark too.
I think if you
Radiant's
wanted to
bottom
have
tower
any
is under attack.
impact here, and this is especially since he was... Oh, he switched out the Blink Dagger now as well. Baden!
Toss right back again. You're not going anywhere, Abaddon. Or maybe he is. He's pretty fast. Oh no, they don't have a blink on Hiko, so I guess he is going to be able to make it out. Did get a nice steal though. We get the Aphotic Shield stolen. Oh, alright.
Dire's top tower
I think
is under
BL just
attack.
overextended in his attempt to help his teammates out.
Oh, I think he definitely did. Open wounds again over here on Abaddon. He throws down another one of those shields, purging it
Dire's
off.
top tower
But
is
they're
under
just
attack.
forced so far back, they
Radiant's
cannot do
middle
anything
tower
right
is under
now.
attack.
You just watch your towers melt. Your Alchemist, yeah, he's got high net worth, but if he can't get out of the space to do anything,
Dire's top tower
it's
is
gonna
under
slowly
attack.
start to go down.
Yeah, and
Smoked.
it's
What are they
very
hoping to do?
hoping for a mistake, hoping to get some vision in their own jungle back. This is the way to do it, but they're engaging up a high
This is a
ground.
beautiful Winter's
Rubik.
Curse. Oh,
Oh.
Duster, the vision. It was so lovely. They get the kill on Yodomi. They will end up losing Duster, but I think he's okay with that. And while
Yeah,
they're chasing
definitely.
after there, take a look in the mid lane, Kips. Murdoch's just pushing it in.
Radiant's
Oh,
middle
does need to be
tower
careful
is
though that
under
he
attack.
doesn't get spotted. Yeah, he runs right past the Alchemist.
He is very tanky right now as well with that Aghanim Scepter up.
That's true.
His team would definitely come help him out, and FURIA get to keep that ward that Duster was basically sitting on top of. So even though G-Pride smoked out there to try and get control back over their jungle, they didn't even get that access point control again.
Man, it's an odd thing to hear. Lina is very tanky right now.
Yeah.
And like I definitely agree with it, but especially at like 22 minutes in, and the fact that they do have some pretty tanky boys generally on the side of G-Pride, right? The Abaddon, the Sand King. They are going to try to contest this. They know that the Winter's Curse is down, but this Roche is going so fast. Are they going to be able to get there in time, Kips? I don't think they are. Final hit. There it is. Oh, the jump forward, though. Herdia still manages to get it. Yadomi's just toast. He is no longer there. NS Art, he's stuck in the corner. Gets a courier kill, but that Winter's Curse coming out is going to be able to take down Mr. Jeans. It's already back up again. They'll get the kill on NSR. Kukahook, he needs some help. He is now stuck with RDO in this pit. The Lina just wailing on him. Hiko coming in too, and they'll find the kill on the Alchemist. So the toss back, they're not even done. They have an Abaddon still left to kill. He's going to go pop his own ultimate. He's going to get healed right back up again, but he doesn't have an exit strategy because he's going to just get chipped right back down again, and there he goes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And like the Winter Wyvern may have been on cooldown, but only for like 6 seconds more, and they get turned around upon. The Alchemist kills his own teammate, and after that, yeah, the Lina gets a hit in from outside the pit. It's pretty brutal.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I don't know what G-Pride can do right now. It feels like FURIA, they've got a 6k net worth lead. They're very, very strong. They're very tanky. Crystal Maiden can't go anywhere near any of them. She just immediately gets blown up, as does the Sand King. And the Lashrek is a big part of the damage, but he's too squishy.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, and I have to say that you can see the Alchemist, he's queued up the blink again now. If he would have not gone for the heart, but perhaps, for example, the Medallion Solar Crest build and then a blink after, you can start blowing people up. You can start equalizing fights and actually leveraging that net worth. And right now, the damage that he deals by being alive is just not a lot. All he has is the Radiance Burn. And every time he actually gets in range to hit people, the Winter's Curse is on top of one of his teammates.
Yeah, I have to hand it off to Duster. He has had some really good Winter's Curses this game. It's been in very good position to get those off.
So,
I'm still confused about the heart. It's not something that we typically see get picked up on Alchemist, especially that early.
Yeah, normally the heart maybe as a third item after Radiance Manta style, in order to, you know, play that map control kind of alch game. But he didn't go for Manta style either, which would have probably been a decent pickup in this game as well, because there's not a lot of ways to...
Oh.
Is he gonna jump in?
Yeah, he is gonna go jumping in. Hiko's standing right nearby, though. Is gonna be able to toss it right back in. Crystal Maiden letting it go. He finally gets revenge on her sister, Hiko. He's got the Aphotic Shield. He got the steal, though. He's got a lot of armor, but they do have the stun. Yadomi's gonna be able to turn it around. Winter's Curse gets used. Oh, no. Luckily, the Abaddon has that ultimate. He's gonna be able to just get healed right back up again. Duster trying to buy himself a little bit more time using that heal, but they have so much magic damage, Kips. It doesn't even matter. That was a little bit of a throw on the side of FURIA.
Yeah, but they also clearly did not expect that Blink Dagger pickup. And, you know, if the enemy doesn't expect it, you don't actually need to have itemized that well for it in other ways. So, props on Cookout to just going back for it anyway. Because now he gets to have impact. Now they get to blow up the Lina. It takes a long time because she's so farmed. But she actually has to throw her Laguna Blade onto that super tanky Alchemist, which ends up doing pretty much nothing. And they get to push several towers off of this.
They do, but take a look at their base, Kips. They're taking a tier 2 right now. Look at the damage being placed on the range. Yeah, that is the range. Okay, I'm second guessing myself way too much today. Oh my goodness. RDO, he's hunting. I think it's funny that after that, you definitely see the Lina. Like, I'm sure, I haven't clicked on her in a little bit and looked at her inventory, but the BKB is high on the priority list.
As it should be, and yeah.
Held your feet
That's
to the
gonna
fire.
help her get there a little bit faster with the kill on Yadomi.
Poor Yadomi. He gets just walked up on out of the darkness. It's not a fun job, but someone has to keep those lanes out, especially that top lane. And since he had a buyback ready as well, he's the best guy to do it.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, it's
tower
been a rough
is
game
under
for him.
attack.
They rely on him quite a bit in a lot of these fights to be the main initiator and the main source of damage during the team fights until the rest of the team can catch up.
Radiant's
It just
bottom
hasn't been
tower
proven to be
has
enough.
fallen.
Yeah, I'd say that The Alchemist Blink definitely
Radiant's
relieves
bottom
part of that
shrine is
problem,
under
which is that
attack.
before Yodomi was, just like in the previous game, the only one who could go in, and now the Alch can do that. And the Alch is extremely hard to bring down with that heart. You can't really react to that engagement.
Radiant's
if you do,
bottom
you're
shrine
throwing your
has
spells on the
fallen.
wrong target.
And they also have the Abaddon as well to be able to go heal him up, throw out a couple of shields if necessary. I think it just really depends on who gets the jump on who. I think that's how it really just all boils down to. Now, they don't have Murdoch. NSR is making his way over to this middle lane. Did that smoke pop just yet? Yeah, they know he's there. He's pretty tanky. You can see they're starting to converge. They don't know who else is there. Nice Winter's Curse coming out. And again, they just get that toss over there. Are they going to be able to find the kill? Yes, they will. They'll take down BL. Nice stuff coming through, though. As again, they get that stolen crystal over on the side here from Hiko. He's doing a lot of damage, forcing everybody back. They're chasing after the Alchemist now. They have the vision on Yodomi. Very nice Burrow Strike. Does buy a little bit more time, but he just gets immediately evaporated. As the rest of the team, they're trying to find these corners to hide in. But the Abaddon, not going to find it, has to go pop his ultimate. They get another skill on the Aphotic Shield, and again, it's one of those situations where the Abaddon will heal up, but he's just going to get taken right back down again. 1, 2, there we go. Murdoch's on a killing spree. There's going to have to be some buybacks, Kips. As you can see already, the Sand King buys back, the Abaddon buys back. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure what they can really hope to do here. They've already used the Epicenter. The Abaddon is not as tanky as he'd like to be.
So when the Alchemist engagement is not strong enough, like not on a target that people are forced to react to.
Oh, okay, there it is.
just
There's
not
that
good enough.
engagement we were talking about. They had the Aphotic Shield. They took it off of the Lina almost instantly. And now they'll get a kill onto the Courier. They're going to keep pushing down. That's definitely going to be a dead Yodomi. Again, we had the Laguna Blade coming out from Lina. She's rooted into place. She needs some help. They've got a little bit of help coming through, but oh, it doesn't matter with that heal because indeed, Mr. Jean's jumping on in. Again, though, good Winter's Curse, holding him into place. It's going to get them the time to reset, and already you can see RDO just slicing through him. NSR, he's trying to run away. He's going to be able to because they just toss right back again. This Alchemist, yeah, he's really tanky, but there's a lot of people hitting on him right now, and it's going to be a double kill. There's no buyback on the side of G-Pride.
That was the best possible engagement I think they could have had with the
Radiant's middle tower is
catching
under
out the
attack.
Lina there. But it is just still not
Radiant's
enough.
middle
Winter's
tower
Curse
has fallen.
turns things around as usual, and
Radiant's
Pride.
middle barracks
I can't help but
Radiant's
wonder
top
what
tower
happens
has fallen.
if they itemize differently on that Alchemist, get that Blink Dagger earlier, get up a Basher maybe, or something else that just heightens his personal presence and like properly leverages all of that net worth instead of being someone that, well, can be ignored as we saw in that last fight.